welcome back to the Jollof Football Bantaba platform. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok for the weekend recap. As you can see in the thumbnail, it's the weekend recap. It was a monumental weekend. It was a good weekend for Gambian players all around the globe. You know, most Gambian players. There were a lot of goals scored. The main headline, the big headline was Yankuba Minteh, of course, playing in the biggest stage in the Premier League, facing one of the toughest team to play against, Manchester City, and then producing a man of the match performance. Yeah, you know, Gambians are not usually associated with such kind of performances. So, of course, that has to be the biggest headline of the weekend. But other than that, there were loads of goals scored by Gambian players. There were braces. A lot of Gambian players scored a brace this weekend. There was somebody, Sekuba scored 4 goals for Manila. So yeah, it's the end of the month as well for the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month, guys. The Player of the Month, of course, you guys have seen the nominees. We have posted them on all our social media platforms. You know, every at the end of every month, we present 4 nominees to you guys, and you, our followers, make the decision who is the best performing Gambian players. More often than not, we kind of come back to the same player. The player we thought should be the player of the month and the player you ended up selecting, usually they are almost always the same. So that means, of course, those making the votes maybe even know better than ourselves as far as, you know, Gambian players are concerned. So guys, please make sure you get onto our social media platforms and cast in a vote. It is really, really important. You know, we see that as way to inform Gambians about who is doing well on over a particular period of month, or also is something that kind of serves as a motivation for especially the younger players coming up. If they see their names in that list, in those, you know, it also gives them that motivation. So we have had conversation with players who, you know, really appreciate what we do in terms of player of the month, team of the month, nominees. Some of them even go as far as saying that has contributed to them being selected for the national team and all that, which I don't know. You know, I cannot say the coach, the coach is well more informed than myself, but the fact that people appreciate it, the fact that those that we are nominating also appreciate it, you know, makes it very important for us. The voting process is very easy. Go to the Jollof Football Bantaba platforms, anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere we post it. You can simply type in a player you think is the player, should be the player of the month, or you can go to the polls. There is a poll where you just have to one click decide the player you want to win, and then we will sit and count every single one of those votes. It is hectic work, but we enjoy doing it, and you know, we will do it, guys. So that is something that we were talking about. The nominees, you saw them. We already kind of profile their month, but we will also do that again here for the benefit of those who are listening as well. It's the international break. The Gambia is set to play against Kenya and Burundi. So we will look back at the squad selection. We saw it last week, but we did not really react to the squad. We were more disappointed with the organization of the press conference last week, that we did not even have time to talk about the squad itself. I will try to give my thoughts on the squad, some of the players who missed out, some of the players, you know, who are coming for the first time, and like Abubakar Sidi Kinte and stuff. So we will do that, and then we will also look at the transfer window. It's been today is the end of the transfer window. I don't know how it works in other parts of the world, but in the big leagues in the world, of course, today is the deadline day, and a lot of Gambians will be involved in it. We already seen Ibrahim Adabo has made a move on the final day, so we will expect to see maybe 1 or 2 more Gambians make a move. Let's see how things pan out, guys. So without wasting too much time, guys, let's get into the recap. And please, guys, get on the comments. If you have any question, if you have any comment that you want to help me with, please feel free to share your thoughts as well, to keep me company, guys, to keep me company. So where we start, Yankuba Minteh. Yankuba Minteh, of course, Yankuba Minteh, after that performance against Manchester City, like I say, we should not take these performances for granted. It's not something that happens to Gambians every day. Gambians, dominating clubs like Manchester City, playing against the, like Fam said in his video, Rodley is a Ballon d'Or winner. Haaland, we all know Haaland, Pep Guardiola, one of the greatest coaches of all time, playing against our Gambian star boy, Yankuba Minteh, and then he ended up being the man of the match in that game, putting in a proper shift of a performance. The only thing that was missing in his game on that day was a goal and an assist or something, a goal involvement. But other than that, everything he did it with aplomb. He completely terrorized the Manchester City defense. Ayat Nouri had a hell of a time, not only in trying to defend Yankuba Minteh, but also in trying to attack against Yankuba Minteh as well, because he was also as ruthless when it comes to the defending aspect of the game as going forwards. The first half was more about his defending. The second half was more about his attacking. So that's how you will see it. He completed 12 defensive actions in that game. 12. No player in that game completed 12. And of those 12, 10 or 9 of those 12 defensive actions were completed in the first half. 9 of them. I don't think there was a single player who completed 9. Maybe Rodri was the only player to complete more than 9 in the game. Defensive action. Yankuba Minteh completed 9 in the first half, and then in the second half, it was more about his directness, his dribbling, his pace, going past. Like he was causing a lot of problem for this Brighton defense, for the Manchester City defense, just like last season, I said it. When it comes to the big games, the boy will always turn up. This time, of course, the goals were not there, but the performance was up. Like was at the top level, at the top level. Only missing thing was a goal or an assist. Top performance from Minteh. I mentioned about his dribbling. He completed 4 dribbles in that game. No player completed more in this game. And then you add to the fact that in game week 1, when they played against Fulham, he completed the most dribbles. In game week 2 against Everton, he completed the most dribbles. And against Manchester City, he completed the most dribbles, making him have 11 dribbles completed over the course of the season so far. It's only 3 games in, but he's up there, number 1. No one come close to him when it comes to dribble completed in the Premier League. This is not something that will surprise anybody. We all know he's a very good dribbler. If you go 2-3 years back to my post about Yankuba Minteh, you will see what I was talking about, his dribbling and his defensive actions. Those were not areas that I was worried about his game. It was other aspect of his game, the maturity, the decision-making part of his game, and maybe like possession play, how to keep possession for his team, passing and stuff like that. Those were the areas that I was a little bit, I think he should improve. But those are areas that a more experienced player will get better at. He was young, just coming into the, busting into the scenes, just like that. So you not expect him to come perfect. But he is getting better. You can see in his preseason when they interviewed him what he was saying in terms of trying to take his time more. Yes, yesterday there were times in the game against Man City I was frustrated a little bit. Understand? When it comes to his in possession play, when he has the ball, caught on the ball, sometimes the pass was not, sometimes he passed the ball maybe 1 second too soon and stuff like that. But other than that, second half he was absolutely amazing. Every decision he made was like spot on. Everything would like was a huge threat for Manchester City. Ayat Nouri, he will not sleep. He will be sleep, or when he's sleeping, he will be thinking about, this Yankuba Minteh guy. This guy is difficult to play against, and that's the mark he left on that game. It was a brilliant performance from Yankuba Minteh. Top performance. Hopefully the goals will follow suit soon. Yesterday was absolutely amazing. Completed the most defensive action, like I say. Won the most duels in the game. 11 duels he won. completed the most dribbles. Yeah, the only thing missing was the goal from our Gambian star boy. Brilliant performance from Yankuba Minteh, and long may it continue. Let's see what he will bring for the Gambian national team in this upcoming international break. Let's move on to the goal scorers this weekend. There were a lot of goal scorers. We start in Austria. Sidi Jata, of course, he is Gambian, but of course he can play. He can represent Norway, and I've got some indication in the past that he is willing to play for Gambia in the future. And also there were times that he was being offered to play for Gambia when he was ready to play for Gambia. So for him, I think it's a matter of time before we see him in the national team. Maybe I feel maybe the coach did not approach him yet to invite him or something. But I think I can see him playing for the Gambia national team. This weekend he scored a couple of goals, a brace. They won the game 3-0, Storm Graphs. In midweek, he was also playing in the Champions League qualifiers. Unfortunately, they won the game, but unfortunately, they were knocked out of the Champions League. So they will play in Europa League next season, that is Storm Graz. He scored in that 2-1 win. He was man of the match in that midweek win. And then this weekend, he also scored a brace again in their 3-0 win in the league. And he was man of the match again. A wonderful back-to-back performance from Sidi Jata. Okay. At the start of the season, I think he was coming back from an injury he sustained from last season. But he has started very well with Storm Graz. He's picking up form at a very crucial time. Another player who scored a brace was Salou Drame. He's another player, who could play for Norway, who could play for Denmark rather. Salou Drame could play for Denmark, but Salou was Gambian. He's a Gambian rather. He was born in the Gambia. He moved to Denmark, and now, of course, like all of Gambians, immigrants, they go and then they acquire the passport of the country they are living in. So he in his football passport, you will see a Gambia and a Denmark in it. But Gambia is his original country, as most of these sites put it. So he's a Gambian. Even when they sign him, they say the Gambian player. So he's a player who could play for Gambia. He's having a wonderful season. Not on the spotlight, not a player that we talk about too much in Gambia, but he's really doing well. Lillestrøm are playing in second tier of the second tier of the Norwegian league. Yeah. He scored a brace and an assist this weekend. They won the game 3-1. He scored 2 and assisted 1 of the goals. He is nominated, by the way, for the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month for a brilliant one that he had. 21 games he has played for Lillestrøm this season in the league. 7 goals and 3 assists. That is 13 goal involvement in 21 games. Lillestrøm are at the top of the league, 12 points at the top. So they are likely to go to I think it's just a matter of time. They are going up to the Norwegian top tier league, and he has been one of the players who has been key to their promotion. Push 12 points at the top with only 8 games to go or something. So I would expect them to be in the league next season. I would expect them to be in the Norwegian top tier league next season. Salou is just a 22 years old, very good player. Like, he scored a brilliant goal sometime earlier in the season. Because the Danish league is already almost at the end, or the Norwegian league is almost at the end. They start in January. It's different from the other. So earlier in the season, he scored a brilliant goal. He took on like a lot of players. Brilliant goal. If you have not seen that, go and check it out. This weekend he scored a brace and an assist. So he's also nominated for the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month. So check that out. Modlamin Marong, former Steve Biko striker on the Gambia under 20. He also scored a brace and then followed that brace with another goal in the weekend. So it was Thursday. He played in the cup. He scored a brace. They won 4-1. And this weekend they drew 1-1, and he scored the only goal for them. So 3 goals in 2 games for Modlamin Marong. Very good. Mohamed Samba, he played in Cyprus. He was playing against his parent club. They lost the game heavily, 7-2, but he scored the 2 goals for his club, which is also good. Mohamed Samba, he was playing against his parent club. I'm sure his parent club will be taking notice of that performance from Mohamed Samba. You look at Mamin Sanyang. Mane Sayang also scored another goal. Last week he scored a brilliant goal coming off the bench. This time he scored another one. He started this game and scored, but unfortunately they lost the game 2-1. Going to Manila, a lot of Gambians playing there. They won 9-2. The Manila Diggers, they won 9-2. Sekuba Sise scored 4 goals. Pausman Gai also scored one, and Modu scored 2 in those one. That Manila Diggers have a lot of Gambians. They are playing in the AFC Challenge League to qualify for the AFC competitions. So they are doing well there. I want to say that league is the strongest league, because I always discuss as like heavy, like 5, 9, 8, so and Sekuba is taking his opportunity. Like you play against what is in front of you, and he is definitely doing that, scoring a lot of goals. Last season he won the leading goal scorer in the Philippines league. So he's continuing where he left off, 4 goals in their first game of the PFL league. So long may it continue. Mukante, another player. Last week we talked about him. He scored. He was the kid who scored 6 goals for Shakhtar Donetsk on a 19 team. He continued where he left off. This weekend too, he scored another goal. From 6-1, it's a big downgrade, but he's still scoring. If you understand what I mean, he scored 9 goals, 2 assists in just 4 games for the Shakhtar Donetsk on a 19 team this season. He's absolutely terrorizing defenders in that place. Yeah. If you look at the assisters, Kajali Drame also got a couple of assists for his club. They were 2-0. He assisted both goals. Ibrahim Singate for Carvina, who started the season very, very well with Carvina. He created a goal. They won 4-1. He assisted the opening goal for them in that one. And then you go to look at the clean sheets. Abubakar Sidi Kinte, he got a clean sheet with Tromozo. Of course, he got his first call up to the Gambia national team, but he got a red card in that one. It was unfortunate. I don't think it was a red card. I look at the challenge a few times, but I don't have the indication that it should have been a red card. But yeah, it is what it is. He got the red card, so he will serve another suspension. He was suspended earlier for accumulation of yellow cards, so I think for the red card he will get another suspension. But Tromos are doing well. They are fourth in the Norwegian top tier league. There is a chance they could qualify for Europe. Another player who has been in exceptional form, nominated for the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month, is Mauro Jaju Chuka. Brilliant start to the season with Struga in Northern Macedonia. 100% win record. They have not lost or they have not drawn a single game this season. They have only conceded 1 single goal. And Chuka has played every single minute. So if a defender is given that record, 4 games played, 1 goal conceded, 3 clean sheets, what else? It's a brilliant performance from Chuka. They won 5-0 this weekend, and he played the 90 minutes. Other players who also had a good or decent outing this weekend were Musa Juara, Pongon in Poland. I think every single game he has played for them so far has been brilliant. Musa Juara, he has lived to the billing. I contributed to an article written by a Polish journalist talking about Musa Juara, his where he came from and what he did in his career, and what I thought about him as a player going forward. He was their star player because he's their he's the highest paid player at that club. He's their highest paid player. These are things you don't hear a lot about Gambian players, but these are things that are happening nowadays. Musa Juara is the highest paid player at this Polish club, and since he joined them, he has been in brilliant form. He has every single game he has had an impact. He has not scored a goal yet. He has had 2 goals chopped off by VAR, unfortunately for him, for very poor decisions, especially the first one that they chopped off from him. It was a poor. The second one was for a foul, but he has been in good form, creating chances, making assists and all that. So yeah, very good. He was their best performer this weekend. They won the game 2-0, and he was not in the goals, but he was their best outfield player according to the rating by Footmob. Modu Sedi Padiga, the 2023-2024 GFF First Division Player of the Season. Modu Sedi Padiga, now playing for BFC Dago Spurs. Yeah, I forget to mention Space TV, Jello Football Bantaba Player of the Month. Maybe the GFF, they have their own Player of the Month. But Space TV, Jello Football Bantaba 2024, 2020, 2023, 2024 Player of the Season. Musa Modu Sedi. He was playing for his side in Latvia. They won 1-0. He did not start the game, but he came on pretty early in that game. He came on around the 10th minute. I think they had an injury, so he had to come on around the 10th minute, and then he won the penalty. They ended up winning the game 1-0. Wally Fofana also started that game, played about 80 minutes ish, just like him. Yeah. Then Abdullah Mane Mayalbi, after the after the issue with the transfer, what the team, I don't even want to know the team, Olympiacos, trying to tarnish the image of the player, after they had some disagreements in their contract. Yeah, the player, then they use they use his medical as the reason for the transfer to fail and all that. But the player said he did not have any injury. He said that in many platforms. His agent said that. So we have to trust that that is the truth. It was just a matter of trying to sabotage the deal, or trying to make the deal, or trying to change the terms of and conditions of the deal. I'm not inside the discussion room, so I don't know much about it. But it was really bad from Olympiacos. I'm thankful that Abdullah Mane is back at Mayalbi playing again. He can focus with Mayalbi, because Mayalbi are vying for the league. They won another game. Now they are 8 points at the top of the Swedish league with 8 games to go. A very small town, or a very small place in Sweden, competing for the Swedish league. It's going to be an amazing story, and Abdullah Mane has been a huge part of that. They won this weekend 1-0. And finally, I will mention a female player, that is Fatou Kante. The Spanish female league started this weekend, and then her side, Sevilla, were in action. They played against Eibar. They won 1-0. Kante started the game, played 90 minutes, and he was taken off just in injury time. Produced a wonderful performance in that game. Yeah, he started the season well. He was very good in preseason, creating assists. Doing a lot of media duties as well. It's good to see her start the season well with Seville. Won their first game of the season. Long may continue. Another player who did well, I think that was last midweek, was Ola Buaro. She scored a goal for her side, Lokomotiv, in Russia. Yeah. So that is it for the weekend recap, guys. If you have any question, if you have any comments, guys, please let me know. If you want me to talk about any player, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to talk about them. But next, I will move on to the player of the month, the Jollof Football Bantaba player of the month nominees. Let me just bring on the image. Yeah, give me a sec. Yeah, ba ko yéen suma gars yi ñu toog fii xaaroon maa ngi wax fekk nekk leen di ma dégg ma ne ko daanaan ngeen jërë ngeen jëf waaye ak xam ngeen ne ko jërë ngeen jëf. So yeah, let's have it. That's the nominees. That's the list. 4 players nominated for the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month for the month of August 2025. We usually nominate 4 players, even though there were more than 4 players who deserve nomination this weekend. Of course, after Yankuba Minteh's performance, everybody would like, I have those. I'm sure I'm gonna expect those comments. People will come to Yankuba Minteh, after what he does, he should be in the nominees. Like, yeah, he could have been in the nominees, but also these players, I think they were really good during the course of the month. And of course, if I have to bring level into deciding the nominees, it's gonna get more complicated. Sometimes you tend, as long as they are playing professional football, you tend to ignore the level. Tend to. But of course, there are some instances where you have to think about the level as well. The level is playing. This is more difficult than this level at the end of the day. But if you're looking at then you have the same players every single time who are playing at the top level. So sometimes it also helps to give chance to other players as long as they are doing well. Let me just talk about these players, what they did during the course of the month, and you will tell me do they deserve this spot or not. Let's start with Bambalai Abdullah Sanyang. Wonderful for Hajduk Split. You can see his numbers. He played 7 games in the month. He scored 3 goals and he created a couple of assists. And the 3 goals he scored, they were all decisive goals. The first one, he came off the bench against Dynamo Tirana in the Conference League qualifiers and scored the winning goal, right? The other 2 he scored, he also came off the bench in the league for Hajduk Split. Within, like, the game was 0-0. He came in, opened the scoring within 8 minutes, and went on to add another one to make it 2. So he scored 3 goals, all coming off the bench and all being crucial for his club to win games. He also chipped in with a couple of assists during the month. The only downside for his month was the red card he received in the second leg of that European Conference League qualifiers. They eventually got knocked out, but I think his goals, 3 goals, 2 assists in 7 games, he has been in very, very good form for Hajduk Split. The other player is Ibu Ture, Mr. Consistency. I'm still asking myself, why is he not in the national team? Why is Ibu Ture not in the? He should be in the national team. But that's a question that we should have asked Coach Johnny in the press conference. We did not use that opportunity. Ibu Ture, numbers: 8 games played, 6 wins, 2 draws, 0 loss, as well as a goal scored and a couple of clean sheets with his club. Of course, they are currently vying at the top of the League One. It was brilliant. He has not tasted a defeat yet with his new side, that is Bradford City. Since he moved there, he has been playing almost every minute. He has played 720 minutes during the month. Every single minute they played during the month of August, he played. They were unbeaten. He chipped in with a goal scored in the League Cup to help them progress to the next round of the cup as well. It's the only disappointment I have is I don't see him in the Gambian national team, because right now the form he is in right now would be very useful for the Gambian national team. There is no left back performing at the level he is performing right now, so not seeing him in the national team is something that I'm not really happy with. The other player is Modo Jaju Chuka, like a forgotten player. People even forgot about him. He used to be somebody that we demanded to be in the national team. At least fans demanded to see him in the national team. But I think those times were not the right time to demand for his inclusion in the national team, because he was not competing, he was not playing. But now he's really competing, playing at playing week in, week out with his side, Struga. Last season he joined them, second half of the season. He did not really have a huge impact there. He did not play a lot of games. But this season, he has started the season well for them. He has started every single game in their first 4 games. They have 100% record. They have won every single one of their 4 games. I mentioned it earlier. He also chipped in with a goal and 3 clean sheets. 4 games played, 1 goal, 3 clean sheets, 4 wins, guys. Like, if a player do this, you have no option but to nominate him for the player of the month. Not so? Let me know in the comments. And the final one is a player that we are not very familiar with. I was talking about him earlier. That is Saliu Drame, playing for Lillestrøm in Norway second division. He also played 6 games, and all 6 they won. He scored 3 goals and he assisted 1 goal during the month, including the brace he scored in their most recent game with the assist. So yeah, these are your nominees. 4 nominees for the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month for the month of August. Let us know in the comments who deserves it most. I feel both all of them deserve it, but let us know in the comments who would you cast your vote on. Who would you vote for? You can do that here, or you can do it in our social media platforms. Thank you. Please make sure you do that. The next thing I will discuss is what's the running order? Is it the national team I'm supposed to discuss, right? I think so, yeah. I'm sure we all see the squad selected by coach Ibrahim Jajus Tech, says Sibi. Let's go back. Let's just go through it. Ibrahim Jajus Tech, says Sibi, and Babakar Gay. In defense, you have Omar Koli, Abubakar Sidi Kinte, Muhammadu Layon Jai, and Sirif Sinyan, James Gomez, Alaji Sen, Seni Sanyang, Joseph Cisse, and Mohamed Sane. And in midfield, Ibu Adams, Abubakar Bari, Mahmoud Bajo, Jesper Cisse, and Muhammadu Drame. And up top, we have Abdullah Mane, Musa Juparo, Aliou Farera, Abdullah Sanyang, Yankuba Minteh, Adama Sidibe, Adama Bojang, and Ali. So that is the squad selected by Coach Johnny. If you look at the defense, I think if you look at the goalkeeping, of course, we have a good pool of goalkeepers now. There is Musa Dibaga missed out. My boy Omar Choi hasn't get his call up still. That kid, Jordi Danso, at Hirona, he was in the preliminary squad, which was never, published, and then he missed out on the final one. And yeah, those three goalkeepers missed out. Lamin Sarr, I think, like he kind of gave up on the national team because I've not seen him there for the longest time. I don't know why. He's not being selected. Maybe like I don't. I let me not say it like that actually. Because I don't know what is behind him not being selected. Maybe it's the coach's decision. Maybe it's his decision. I don't know. But we haven't seen him in the longest time. So the coach went with these three. And yeah, people cannot argue with this. Babakar Gay, like outright, I think when fit, he's the number one. Ibrahim Jajustek, he has deputized very well for the national team since Babakar Gay was out injured. And CSCB has been in and around the national team. So yeah, seeing him in the national team, it's no surprise. Yeah. It's no surprise. And defense, I don't have any comment in the goalkeeping department. In defense, a little bit. Omar Koli, Bubakar Sidi Kinte, Momodu Lion Jai, Sedef Sinyan, James Gomez, Elijah Sen, Seni Sanyang, Joseph Cisse, and Mohamed Sane. These are the usual suspects. Omar Koli, you always, initially I thought he was not selected, but yeah, he is selected. He's the leader, he's the captain. So, his experience is also vital. I know he's reaching the twilight of his career, but his experience is quite vital for the national the national team. So his selection is good. Abu Harsidi, the fourth selection. He's been one of the best defenders, one of the best Gambian defenders out there, without shadow of a doubt. So his call up this time, if he was not selected, even though it's his first call up, would have been a huge surprise. I mentioned him this week. He got the clean sheet and the red card, unfortunately. But he is the one. He is the one. So a good addition to the national team, and hopefully he can settle in well. And he's young, very good. Even where is it? It's the Norway. The Norwegians wanted to make him naturalized to play for them. Somewhere I'm even saying that because that's how good the player is. Around that area, Norway, Denmark, Scandinavian area, CIES has rated him as the best talent over the course of the season so far. So he's been brilliant. So seeing him is a huge addition. My boy Momodu Lion Jai, his addition, he has been in the team for the past games, but at club level he has not been playing regularly. So maybe that is something that we would prefer to be different. I prefer him to see him playing more often. He has lost his lineup, but hopefully he will regain it back. They lost this weekend 2-0 to, actually they were playing against Abubakar Sidi Kide's Rumours won that game 2-0. Lion did not come on in that one. Sirif Sinyan, another player who he combined the experience and the form. He is in good form, but also very experienced at national team level, or a very experienced player. He has been there for the longest time. Unfortunately, there's a period where he was not in the national team because of injuries and all that. But since he came back, he has shown that leadership in him, and at club level, he has shown the form. So he's also a very good addition. James has started the season decently, for his side. So okay, like you said, he played well when he came to the national team last time, but at club level, I don't see him. I'm not seeing a lot of impact from him. I would have expected him to be the leader of that defense at this point now, but that is not the case at the moment. Joseph Cisse, who's very reliable as well. Same as Sanyang too, has started the season well. He's playing a lot of minutes, so there is no question about his addition in the national team. Mohamed Sane, also very consistent with his side, so no question there. So the only thing you can mention is Chuka. He has been in and around the national team in the past, so if he hits the form that if he hit the form if he hit a form which people were calling for his name to be in the national team, despite not having the form. If he hit that form, I think he deserves a call up because he's a very talented defender. Coming up when he was playing in the league and all that, very highly rated. So it is unfortunate after having a wonderful month with his side. 100% win record, started the season scoring goals, keeping clean sheets for fun, being the best performing Gambian centre back during the month of August. I'm not saying during the season, during the month of August, he was the best performing Gambian centre back. So it would be disappointed for him not to be in the national team, even though he has not been there for the longest time. I would have expected at least for him to be part of this team because there are players you will look at and say, these players are not playing, these players are not performing at club level, and Chuka is performing. So for me, it's always about the players who are performing the best that should be representing the national team. And at this moment in time, I feel Chuka is one of those players. Yes, in the past, people will be talking about Chuka should be in the team. I always shut that down. What I always say is, Chuka is not performing. He needs to perform to be in the national team. Now I'm turning to defend him to be in the national team because I believe he is the best performing Gambian defender during the month of August. That's why he's nominated for the Yellow Football Wantaba Player of the Month. Yeah, and then I think Ibuture's exclusion is something that is a bitter taste for me. I'm not having it. I don't know why he's not in the squad. Only the coach could answer that because the coach will know why he did not select him, or if he selected him and he turned down the invitation. I don't know which is which, but I'm not. I just cannot imagine not selecting him for the national team. With the form he is in and with the reliability he offers to the national team. So I'm not happy to see that one, but I would love to know why he is not in the national team because I cannot give you any other explanation in terms of performance, in terms of experience, always reliable for the national team. So why he is not in the national team is something that baffles me, definitely. It does. So those are the two questions I have on the defense, Ibuture and Chuka not being, given a chance. In midfield, Ibu Adams, Abubakar Bari, Mamadou Bayo, Jesper Cisse, and Mamadou Drame. Haruna Rashid Guy was a player that we wanted to see in the national team. People have been calling for Haruna Rashid to come, but apparently I think he's injured. He has not been playing for his club for the last few games, so possibly it is an injury. That's why we are not seeing Haruna Rashid in the national team this time. Any other midfielder that deserve a shout? Maybe Jibril, that young kid. I think he's having a brilliant time with his side because this upcoming international window, it is an opportunity for Gambia to build up their rank, but it's also an opportunity to build a future team. That's how I see it because we are not qualifying for the World Cup. We have already got eliminated for the African Conference qualifier. So whatever we are building right now should look into the future as well. So a player like Jibril Sose, who is having a brilliant time with his club Kalmar, they are on verge to gaining promotion to the top tier of the Swedish league, is a player I would have considered, or I would have loved to have in the setup, even if he does not play, because I think he could become a very important player for the national team in the future. He's already become an important player for Kalmar, regular starter playing in different positions for them. Kalma winning almost every single game. He's putting in some good performance. So he's a player that I think, we should be thinking about. So I know if you have to bring him in, you have to leave out a player. Who would I leave out for him? I don't know. But he's a player that I think he had a wonderful last 2 months, last 3 months to warrant at least a call up to the Gambia national team. So that's my thought on that on the midfield. Any other midfielder? I'm most like who's yeah in attack. Yeah, I don't think any other midfielder. I'd rather say I think he's injured. That's why he's not there. So the other midfielders, the old ones like the Hamzas, the Moros, I don't think they are playing enough to come back to the national team at this stage, considering the midfielders that we have there. So I don't have any problem. Ablai Jallo is also not in the squad. He's a player that I would have expected to see, a very important player when he is fit for the Gambia, usually a very important player for the national team. He has not really he has not really played much for Coach Jonathan McKinstry. And that trust has not really been there for him and Coach Jonathan. If Tom was still the coach of Gambia, you will see him in the national team regardless, as far as he's fit. But that has not been the case with Johnny. But I think like his track record for the Gambia national team, what he has done for the Gambia national team, and he's now playing, he's fit, performing. I think he deserved a call up. I think he deserved a call up this time around. Score a few goals for his new side in the Champions League qualifiers and also in their cup games and playing minutes regularly. So yeah, he's a player that I would have expected to see in the national team. I think he deserves a call up. He has done a lot for the national team, and now he is performing at club level. So I think he deserves to be in the team. Up top, who is there? Abdullah Mane, Musa Baro, Aliou Fadera, Abdullah Sanyang, Yankuba Minteh, Adawa Sidibe, Adawa Boyan, and Ali Sow. So all these names we put there, you cannot argue for anybody not to be in this team, but also you can look outside and see some of the players who have been doing well, and say, okay, maybe this player could have been there, or this player should get a chance and all that. But I think the attacking options, we have a lot of attacking options. So we are always going to leave out good performing attackers because we have a lot of options up top. Musa Juara, I said it. He has been doing really well since he moved to his club. Mamin San, and he's doing well. That kid, he's doing well with his side. There are some strikers out there scoring goals, young strikers scoring goals out there. So in attack, we will always going to leave out good players because we have a lot of attacking options. So the thing you will always do is look at the players that are selected and see who really does not deserve to be there, And then if you look at the list, you cannot tell me, this player does not deserve to be here, or that player does not deserve to be here. Adam Boyan has started the season well. He has not scored the goals, but he has put in some good performances for Start and started their first 3 games. Unfortunately, he came off the bench in their most recent game. Adam Sidibe, St. Johnston, he has been doing well. He has been starting every single game, and he has done well for the national team under Johnny. So, you will understand his selection. We also what he did last season with highest scoring attacker Musa Baro. You don't talk about those players, Musa Baro, Yankuba Minteh. I have nothing to say about those players in terms of their selection in the national team. Abdullah Mane having a brilliant time. Abdullah Sanyang nominated for the Jollof Football. So there is no attacker you will say, this player does not deserve a spot in the team. Aliou Fadera, always a reliable player for the national team as well when he plays. When he performs, he is always bringing quality. So yeah, I don't have much to say about the attacker. So my issue is the defense. Maybe Sidi Janko too has been back, and my 2 champ brothers, but I think it's too early for them because the time they broke out was the time the coach has already approached all the players to name his squad. So especially Paulo Cham, the time he broke out in the Italian Serie A was the wrong time for this selection. But hopefully in the subsequent international breaks, we will see him in the national team. Senegal are trying to claim him as well, so we have to do that one fast. Safalo Cham, he looks like a really, really good player. This weekend was not great for them. They lost heavily against was it Lazio or something, but that guy is looking like a proper player, guys. Yes, now I will just crash into 44 journalists, his page, and see what is going on in the transfer window. Today is the final day of the transfer window. How much? I already elapsed 1 hour, so it's 1 hour 7 minutes. So yeah, let me try to do this transfer window quickly, and then I will wrap up, guys. If you have any comments, please make sure to leave some comments for me. I always really appreciate that, and like the video if you enjoy this. Leave some comments on TikTok. Let me go on TikTok. I see, even though I've not been looking at the comments, but I will do that after when I finish everything. Who do I? Let's go to Facebook and look at 44 journalists. What he is saying about transfers on the final day of the transfer window. Let's see. Where is 44? It's the Jackson story, of course. Michael Jackson, I used to call him that. Nicholas Jackson. His story with Chelsea is amazing. It's Chelsea and Bayern. It seems a deal has been agreed. A deal is now close to Nicholas Jackson to join Bayern. So the condition, the terms and the conditions. It's been an amazing transfer window. My club, Liverpool FC, we are doing big things in the window as well. We are close to completing two major deals, which could be very massive for us upcoming season. But hey, I'm not here to talk about Liverpool. If you want to hear me talk about Liverpool, you can listen to me on the Jollof Football Banter Bar, Code Classic podcast. That's where we talk about fantasy football. I also talk a little bit about Liverpool there. But here, when I talk about Gambian football, I just want to make it just about Gambia. So that's why I don't even always reveal where I support. But some of you may know that. Yeah, Ibrahim Dabo has officially joined Serie B side Bari FC permanently, signing a contract until 2028. 44 journalists posted that the 23-year-old leaves on a free transfer, with Roma retaining a future sell-on clause in the deal. So you can read the full story from 44. He exclusively revealed that a few hours earlier, and then the deal has been complete. And Omar Jaju, my brother Oms, I saw him in the TikTok. Your Toma Omar Jaju of AC Horsens is making a loan move. Is on the verge of securing a 6-month loan move to Danish second division side Brabran IF from AC Horsens. He has been, Omar, since he joined Horsens, he has struggled with a bit of injury here and there. He has never really get his career going there. He was doing well for their youth teams. Seni Mboch, my sister used to give me an update when she was working with AC Horsens about Omar Jadu. Now hopefully this loan move will help him kickstart his career in his professional career. Who else? There was this move that happened too. This one, I think it was facilitated by Isohna Sports Football Academy. Yeah, from Isohna Football Academy, Asan Bojang has signed a 2 + 1 year contract with Trabzonspor, one of the most historic clubs in the Turkish league, according to 44 journalists. The transfer was facilitated by his club, Isohna Football Academy, through trials, and the youngster joins the under-19 team and has already been registered for the UEFA Youth League 2025-2026. So we have a player who will play in the Champions League for the youth level, Bojang. Yes, that's another deal. Any other deal that is happening? That must be it, I feel. There was one that happened last week, Suleiman Jallo to Fiorentina. That one last week, it happened. So, yeah. So, my guy, that was what I had for you guys. If you enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe or follow us on the social media platforms. It's been a long one. I'm sorry by the way, for the first 20 minutes when I was rambling without saying anything, without you hearing anything, guys. Jerry and Jeff, thank you for joining me on this weekend recap. I will go on TikTok and see if I can open a live. I can open the live and discuss with people a little bit. I said I was going to check the comments. I don't have a lot of comments. It was mostly the voice, they cannot hear me. But let me see the TikTok. Instagram usually I have some comments. Let me just take those before I call it a night. Okay. It's already late for me here. It's 12 midnight. So I'm already on Tuesday. Yeah. Let's see if there are any comments. No. Any comments? The live is still ongoing. Okay. Well, it's more streaming if I messed up one, man. So let me see TikTok. What is there on TikTok? There are a few comments there on TikTok. Some few the likes. Yet again, Jeff, thank you for the likes, guys. And I got TikTok. TikTok nando ma hona guba hangen. TikTok nando ma hoba. But I have my phone here, so phone me out of TikTok, and then laptop is on the other platforms. So I try to be live everywhere. Anybody? I must miss some comment. There's a lot of messages here. I must have missed some things. Yeah, must have missed them. But anyways, I'm tired. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired and sleepy. So I will call it a night. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Getting it, Jeff. Good night.